What's up, everybody? Big Herc 916, getting down fresh out. Hit that like, subscribe. You know how we do it. Represent. I got a special guest today. We're going to get into his story, which is wild. One of the craziest stories we've had on here thus far. The homie Dago Mark. Man, get your popcorn, sit down, chill. We're going to get into it. Dago, man, glad to have you on the channel.
Thank you.
Man, your story's wild. Hitting the prosecutor, big weed, they had with zero evidence. I mean, dude, let's get into it. Tell us about your story that led up to you catching your case, man.
Well, I was minding my own business, right? I was, I was developing a lot of homes in Scottsdale, and, they said all the money was from, trafficking weed and only weed. And so I had retired like a year and a half after that happened, was when I encountered this case. I was, they didn't even know where I lived. And what happened was, when we were in the business, I was, their driver for the cartels, this guy named Rene Olivares, fucking rat. So he fucking was bringing the loads up, and how it all started was, I did some cursory checks on people like I do, and I had found out that he had been stopped with 100 pounds of weed and didn't tell anybody. And so, right there, I was like, fuck, what's up with this dude? So I called him on it, and I was like, hey, man, what about that? He goes, oh, man, it was nothing. It was a sample, because they were bringing me like a ton at a time, chronic from, they had the tunnel under the border, the Agua Prieta tunnel. And, I was allegedly working with these big cartels in Mexico that they say I know, but I don't admit to none of that. But anyway, he picks up some heat, and, we'd made a lot of money to that point. I was moving 18-wheelers of weed to New York, with false walls, and I was cashing out $400,000 in 30 minutes every truck. It was a good business. And what I was doing was I was investing all, and the reason I'll talk about it is because it's public knowledge, but I'm investing all my money in weed, in real estate. And, so I was developing homes. I love doing that, like getting a house, it's like not quite done, and then throwing a tent. Like I was buying houses for like a $700,000 house unfinished, and I'd just launder like 300 grand in it, baddest fucking landscaping, tennis court, big ass pools, I mean, like I would, and it's all cash, so it's a laundromat kind of for me. But anyway, so I decided to retire because I know this guy's picked up some heat. And I tell him respectfully, man, like, I'm good, I'm done. And I let the people up the line know, hey, I'm fine. I tell my whole crew, look, man, I had millions at that time. I'm like, look, I'm good, man. I'm not gonna look back. I had a kitty vac litter box I'd invented with my wife. Her ex-boyfriend actually invented it, but I took it to market with her. And so I was set, man. I was gonna ride off in the sunset. So anyway, this Rene Olivares guy had been renting one of our houses. He didn't rent it. He said he was going to buy it, and I ran this through my lawyer. My lawyer, Sheldon Sherman, who's dead, that's why I'll talk about him, was laundering all the money. He was putting my shit in like a lawyer-client trust, this and that. And we're talking millions, So we had co-owned a house in Arizona, and I told him, hey, man, I'm going to let this guy, against my better judgment, I'm going to sell it to this guy, because he said, the driver for the cartels, because he said that he was going to put it in his sister's name, who was legal. She has a different last name. Well, that house, he goes in there, and I said, well, until you change that title, you don't at all do anything illegal in that house, because I had built a gnarly safe room in there, and like, it was built for smuggling. He used to deliver loads there. So the DEA ends up hitting that house with him in it. And they blow it up, and they don't catch him with anything, but they find like burned up Castali's weed wrappers in the fireplace, and they found some ledgers that this idiot had, right? And so next thing you know, the DEA is calling my lawyer, Sheldon Sherman, who's been laundering all my millions, and they say, hey, we hit this house. How do you know this guy, Rene Olivares? And that's where it started. And it was like, he's like, well, he's a renter. So he freaks out, and I go, fuck it, man, I'm going to go fix the house. Fuck it, dude's out of there, man. He goes, God damn it, Mark, sell the house, Jew. So I'm like, yeah, tell me about it. So I go there, clean up the thing, but now there's a link between us, and now I'm on the radar, and I wasn't on the radar. So like months later, like 6 months later, and I'd already retired. When I sold him that house, I was done. I'd already found out that he had some issues he wasn't telling me about. And I said, yeah, man, if you want to, retire in the sunset, fix that case. He was going to get like nothing for the 100 pounds. I said, just live your life happily ever after. He's my friend, I'm thinking. I'm going to be cool. So 6 months later, I'm driving down Shea Boulevard in Scottsdale, and I see him at a light, and I'm mad at this fucking dude. I'm like, damn, dude, I told you not to do nothing in that fucking house. Well, the damages of the house were like upwards of $40,000. They dug all the fucking appliances out. I just remodeled that whole house. They go in hard. And I fucking, I saw the guy on the side of the road, and he's driving. He goes, hey, pull over. And I'm like, what's up, man? He goes, I don't know. This dude's still working big. And I'm like, what's up, man? He goes, man, I'm working again, And I'm like, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm retired. I told you. He goes, man. I go, but what you do owe is you owe me $40,000 for that house, man. I go, 40 grand ain't nothing between friends, dude. But I said, you violated my trust and you went and fucking used the house. I know you were working. That's why you had to eat. And I told you not to. So give me the money. Pfft, my stupid ass. So he goes, man, this is where I live. So he showed me where he lived. That house is full of weed at the time, and he's under surveillance. And I don't know it. So I said, yeah, that's cool, man. I'll meet you at the McDonald's tomorrow. Pay me my money. McDonald's on Shea. So I'm driving a brand new 500 SEC. I mean, a 500S Benz, two-door coupe. And I fucking go rolling down the McDonald's to meet this guy. And there's all kinds of narcs. I'm wondering why he's not there. And I roll inside, and there's like dudes in vests, DEA.
Damn.
You can tell they just took someone down. I'm like, whoa, fuck, check this out. So when I left the house, I told my girl I was just going to buy some breakfast. So I went in and bought some shit. Look, I'm like, fuck. And I walk out. He's not there. I'm out of here. So I fucking pull on to Shea, and I start flying. I want to see it. Sure enough, I got a tail. I'm hitting it to 70, 80. All the fucking cops. Now remember this. I've never had an encounter with these people, man. I've never been caught with nothing, So they pull me over in my car, guns drawn, the whole deal, car spotless. They take me down to the DEA has like a substation in Scottsdale, and they sweat me. They stick me in a tank. They want me to talk to them. Oh, Renee's told us all about you. And I go, really? I said, whatever, man. I don't even know who that is. Well, yeah, you do. Wow. So we sit it out. So I sweat them out, and I sit in a cell for 12 hours. And they let me out. And I go, where are the keys to my car? They go, we're keeping the car. A drug dog alerted on it. Look, dude, that car was spotless. I was actually going to sell it, so I had it all detailed out. There was nothing in there but the registration, but it wasn't in my name. So they keep the car. And I know, man, when they pulled me over that day, after I left that restaurant, I'm literally a block away from my mansion on 124th and Shea. This place is sick, dude. Electric gates, 2 acres, swimming pool, right up the street from what's the guy from the Phoenix Suns, man? I mean, from what's his name from ASU? Fucking big basketball dude, super cool. He's got his whole family living there. It's a nice area, right? So anyway, they pull me over and they try and sweat me, and they're like, yeah, what's up? Why? Renee's told us all about you. And I said, man, what are you talking about? And they said, well, what are you doing here? And I'm like, right then I know. You don't even know where I live. What do you mean, what am I doing here? I'm just here driving around, staying with a friend, man. What's up? And they're like, oh, yeah. So I know when they release me, they just get nowhere with me. And so I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. Do what you got to do. Let me call my lawyer. Well, yeah, we'll do that later. So after 12 hours in a cell, I come out. They don't give me my car. And they let me out front. And there's a payphone. And I know they're going to try and follow me home, right? So I act like I'm making a call. And I just hang up, and I just get it. Man, I'm fucking running through the fucking houses. And it's kind of like a track home.
Yeah.
Man, I'm hitting fences like a track star. I used to be really fast when I was young. I'm 60 now. So I'm fucking running through all these. I lose them. They're fucking trying to find me, So I get away, and I call my wife. I said, come pick me up. I'm going to pay for them. Come pick me up. I'm going to a hotel tonight. She's crying, like, I thought you were dead. I've been calling all the hospitals. I go, nah, man, let's go. And I'm living in a house, that's, you know, I got a lot of shit in there, you know, like I got tons of money in there, guns, you know, like I'm retired, bro, I'm living good. So fucking she picks me up, and so this was on a Friday that they pulled me over. So on Monday I said, when I left the police station, I said, I'm coming back with my lawyer to get that fucking car. Well, you got to prove from the owner, a friend of mine had it in his name, and he goes, you got to prove that you have permission to drive it, and we'll give it back. So that next Monday when I show up, my rat lawyer, Sheldon Sherman, goes in the back and talks to these fools forever about I don't know what, and then he comes out and he fucking, you know, we're not getting a car, you know, and I'm like, what? Fuck that car, you could buy another one. So I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. I leave with him, and he drives me out of there, and I go, what's up? He goes, man, they're on you. You need to fucking shake the heat, man. That fucking car is linked to me. That fucking house is linked to me. I go, hey, calm down, stud. You know what the fuck you're doing, man. You know what this is about. You know, we're fucking gangsters. You're involved in this shit. Tighten up, man. Man up. I got it. So about a year goes by, maybe less, and I'm in California, and fucking I go down to my P.O. box because I'm developing this kitty vac thing. Once that happened, I got the hell out of Arizona. You know, I'm in California, and I'm just going to the mailbox, and I get a call on the freeway, and someone says, hey, you got a package down here. I said, all right, I'll be there tomorrow. So when I go to the mailbox the next day, they've been posted up all night waiting for me. They snatch me, and that's when this lady put a $1.8 million bond. They take me to San Diego County Jail. And when I see the you know, the green slip, and I'm like, 170,000, I'm thinking, oh yeah, fuck, no problem, let me make a phone call, you know. So they tell me on the little speaker in the cell, I go, well, is this bond right, 170? They go, yeah, 170. I go, all right. The guy goes, man, there's a lot of zeros behind that. And he goes, but it's got to be 170. It's a weed case. It's for conspiracy to distribute marijuana, blah, blah, blah. That's the indictment. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. Next thing you know, I get a phone call. They come back on the speaker, Brandon. They go, what? They go, that's $1,770,000 bond. I'm like, what? For a dry weed case. That's how my case started with this bitch prosecutor in Arizona, Billy Rosen. And right off the rip, that's how they're playing. So fuck, I'm not posting that, you know. Well, kind of did later, but so I tell my lawyer, I says, hey man, Sheldon Sherman, my lawyer, who I've known for 10 years. I say, you come and argue this bond for me, man, get that shit down, man. Get it down to like 800 or something. So he goes into court in San Diego before I'm extradited, and he starts arguing my bond, man. And the judge just looks at him, he goes, you done? And he goes, yeah. He goes, can you step to the side, Mr. Sherman? And they go, open up indictment, CR, blah, 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 and they arrest my fucking lawyer in court. Right on the spot for laundering the Brannon organization's money. Yeah, you can't script this shit, it's so gnarly. So now they got my lawyer, but of course he ORs out, you know, they let him out on his own recognizance. Yeah. So they extradite me to Arizona, and I got to go through the bond hearing and the whole process. So I'm going in there, and we finally get in front of a pretty good judge, man. He cuts the bond in half, like 800. And I get down and put the houses up, post that shit. I'm ready to post it. Bam, they hold a Nebula hearing. They want to know where all the money's coming from. It's a special thing they do, you know. And I'm like, fuck. So everybody that I had 2 people put their homes up for me, and then I was going to pay 10% on it, you know, just, you know, that's how you get out. They went and sweated them, went to their houses. Paul Dillette, you know, big-ass bodybuilder dude.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, lost his whole career behind that. Now they go get him and, you know, threaten him, and, you know, so he backs off, but it's too late, you know what I mean? Like, when they pulled me over that day, they found paperwork in my car for a storage garage when they arrested me that day at the post office. And they found one of my storage garages, and sitting in there is a S500, brand new, limited, they just changed the body style, was celebrity only list. Paul couldn't afford it, so I came in, wrote a corporate check for $100,000 for the thing. And through my lawyer, that's how I was rolling. Like, I had, you know, I could do that. And I didn't take it out of his name fast enough. So when they found that thing in the garage, and he went to help me with his house, he was my friend, man. Paul's cool, you know. And they immediately indict him for money laundering just for having the car in his name. But they don't do that. They wait till he's at the back, defending his title, for like the Mr. Olympia. I think it was at Mandalay Bay, and they arrest his ass backstage and ruin his life. And that's the way this whole thing was. I mean, it just right there, the shots were fired. So when I'm arguing my bond, not to get ADD on you, the judge holds a nebula hearing. This bitch prosecutor's like pushing hard, and they clear it because I had it done a different way, and it's cleared, so I get out. Now I'm out, and I've hired the biggest lawyers in Arizona. Larry Debus, you have the right to remain silent, did the Miranda case, and Tom Tinnis. I didn't just hire one of them, I hired both the best ones. I spent $100 grand, and Larry Debus, that lying motherfucker, said, Robert Owens is my PI, give him $50,000, he'll fix anything. And this is the dirty ass PI that ended up fucking me working with the cops. I mean, I have all the articles.
How can a PI?
Right here,
I mean, isn't that so literally you're hiring somebody
under the lawyer-client privilege. He is. He's put on with my law team. He has an office in their offices.
Is that legal?
Fuck no, it's lawyer-client privilege.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a violation of. So he's been doing it for years. He's
wow, so he's just a cold piece of shit.
Man, I got all the articles right here, man. New Times did a 5-part series. This rat motherfucker, he's been setting up his clients forever. Lord of the Lies, right there. And there's me and my wife. There's Tom Tinnis, one of the lawyers, and there's Robert Owens, that piece of shit, who's been setting up his clients for years, like working, filming them, filming their conversations.
And you're thinking you're getting help, but this dude's actually building a case on you.
Man, what was crazy is at first he wasn't. I mean, fuck, man, at first he was like telling me where everybody's at, where my rats are at, because I want to know. And he's telling me a lot of shit, like where the prosecutor lives and things like that. But he's also letting me know straight up, like, I will bug the jury room and I will fucking know the verdict before you get, so and he had that kind of push, man. This guy was one of the most crooked movers in Arizona. And I'm a gangster. I'm like, here's 10 grand, hell yeah. Because I'm fixing to go to state trial on this shit, you know. But while I'm out on bond, I was out for like over a year on this bond, shit just got really dirty, man. Like the prosecutor started threatening my family, called my parents' house. Oh, we're gonna come shake your house down, made my mother faint on the phone. And then my birth certificate of my son, he was born in Cabo, rest in peace, Tyler. He was born in Cabo. And they took, when they raided that storage garage and found the car, they took all my legal files that were in a chest of drawers. And I called the DEA and I said, look, I just got my son in first grade and I can't prove who he is. He was born in Mexico, he's a dual citizen. I can't prove who he is. Can you please give me those papers back? We can find him. I go, man, you know right where the fuck they're at. They're right in that fucking thing that you took. You took my car. There wasn't shit in there. There was my car, a bulletproof vest, and a fucking whole chest with all my legal papers. I said, please, man, I just had to pull my kid out of school. Can we just fight between the men? Can we just leave the women and children out of this, And they're like, never responded, And so I had to go, man, it cost me so much fucking money to fly his mother down to Cabo. It's like 20 grand, and to get paperwork done without being there, it's like impossible. But I know guys, so I paid it off. I mean, that's how this thing started. And then it was just, the prosecutor pushing, like, you're gonna snitch on the cartels or do life. And I'm like, bitch, I'm not talking about anybody. First of all, you didn't catch me doing nothing. I'm flanked by my lawyers, and it's getting ugly in the hallways. Like, I don't know who the fuck you're talking to, man, but yeah, there ain't no snitching going on here. And get ready for a trial, Well, she instantly throws my bond back in the computer while I'm driving down I-10, and I get pulled over. I don't get pulled over. A friend of mine, I'm following him to Arizona. This construction guy was working on one of my houses, and he's drunk. So when they pull him over, I whip on the freeway, go back and get behind him. I tell the highway patrol, excuse me, officer, may I approach? That's my friend. I see he's got the bottles on the hood, and he's got a lot of guns in that car too. And this is way before the shooting, just so you know. So anyway, I roll up and I'm like, hey, can we at least get his truck off the road? And he goes, yeah, he was being real cool. Well, can I see your and your wife's ID? Well, we weren't married at the time. And just to make sure you don't have any wants and warrants. I go, yeah, no problem. Next thing you know, he's looking at my ID and he's like getting my wife to the side and he fucking draws down, hey, get on your knees, man, fuck. And I go, whoa, 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 what's up, stud? And I'm like, I turn around, I got my hands on my head and I catch my knees and he's like, you got a $1.8 million bond on you. And I'm like, I paid it. He goes, yeah, right. Like he don't believe it, obviously, because the bitch put it back in the computer. So they take me to some county jail out there, some tweaker spot, I forget, by the lake out there, and they figure it out and they release me. Oh, accidental, oops.
Oh, wow.
Like it ain't no accident, and so they're just pressing hard, man. And I'm out on bond for a while now, and they're still like, no plea bargain, nothing. Billy Rosen is notorious, dude. She's called Billy the Bulldog Rosen, this little Jew cunt. And she's like, not a slander, I have Jewish friends. I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, so she just ain't she's pushing, man. And I'm trying to get her changed out on my case. And, lawyers are like, no, she ain't leaving. And they've done now, they're fucking, they've hit my lawyer. They're like, they're going to get to this. And now my lawyer's my co-defendant. She's got one of the biggest lawyers from Tucson on his case, and we're going to our court dates. And we're like, yeah, they don't have none of this fight, but there's money laundering and there's trails of money and there's like millions and millions of dollars like rolling around, so they want it. And my lawyers are telling me, he's going to rat, your lawyer's going to fold. And I'm like, man, he knows better. And so I'm living at that point, I'm renting a place in kind of Rancho Santa Fe. It's like, it is Rancho Santa Fe. And he's living right behind me at Rancho Penasquitos. And it's like 2 months before trial, and my lawyers call, they go, Sheldon just flipped. I go, you fucking serious? Is that right? He flipped, huh? And I just couldn't believe it, And, like someone I have known him forever, man. They tell me he flipped. But you got to understand now, at that point, I've already been accused of hitting the prosecutor. I got her off the case, allegedly, because some people showed up to her house and aired the fucking place out. And apparently, they said I sent them. That's all I'll say about it. She had a computer where she sat at every night working on, and because I saw the pictures and the shade was pulled down to here, and her brother's like this skinny little twerp, and she's a real butch-looking woman, and I, from what I saw in these articles, you saw the bullets blazing through her house. I guess her brother said, hey, let me use the computer, and jumped on the computer right when the shots started coming out. They saw him, I guess, and so they're saying the shooters, blasted him. And he's like on the floor, like bleeding out. She's right there, And she's like, oh my God, I think the computer blew up. And it's like, why? And then the 911 calls, she finally realizes her brother's been shot, And so, a month later now, I'm being told my attorney's flipping on me, And so I'm like, fuck, this whole thing's falling down, It's like, this thing's getting ugly, So, and now my PI's still working with me.